And my mic is not muted. All right, excellent. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our 43rd episode of Dungeon Masters of Entrath, the Hex TCG game show. I am your host, Thrawn. As always, we have some fun dungeon shenanigans here. This is very casual PvP with as much of a PvE flavor as I can bring to the table. For you early birds, special bonus here, sneak peek at one of the many decks that's going to be coming in the next dungeon. My best estimates now are that by the time the next dungeon is done, there will be over 140 decks that I have made for the next dungeon. Not making them all before going live with the dungeon. I only need enough made to make the dungeon playable. One of the towers is going to be a singleton format where you can use rare cards, and one of those decks is going to be this Ruby Wild Brew that I played in singles night last night. I went 1 and 2 with it. I did have some misplays, but my random rare was Cosmic Calling, which I'm hoping to be able to sell for a nice profit above $1, so I'm thinking ultimately I came out ahead. The format for tonight's dungeon, it is commons and uncommons only, with the exception that you may use rare resources, but otherwise no other rares, no legendary cards. It is immortal format, so all sets are legal. You can bring in whatever you want. There's currently no bans, though I continue to toy with the idea of banning Choir of Lumos and banning a couple other cards whose names escape me, so if I can't even remember what the card is named, you don't have to worry about it right now. But as always, if you wish to challenge the dungeon, all I need to know from you is that you have a deck ready to go that meets the rules and that you wish to challenge the dungeon. Just speak up in chat here to let me know. If you're one of my regulars, I probably know your in-game name, but I have been absolutely getting killed this week with work, so if I ask you what your in-game name is and you think I should know, just understand that my brain is fried and I can barely remember anything. Otherwise, if we do not have any challengers, then I will find some way to twiddle my hex thumbs and figure out a way to pass the time until we do have challengers. Because I am not a stream about limited or competitive constructed, though I can do what is necessary to fill the time sometimes. But usually in most weeks, it's been a while since I've had any real significant periods of stream time where I was not able to get a dungeon challenge going. But as nobody has spoken up yet in chat, we'll kill some time. I have an Evo pool here that is 0 and 0. What is up, Ducklet? How are you doing tonight? So if I have a challenger, we will bail on this and get some real action going. If I don't, we will attempt to make a duck. Hex Ducklet has pledged allegiance to the Empire. Most excellent. Much appreciated. Our little game show family grows. It looks like I'm sitting at 172 followers. Still sub 200. I think we need to find a way to fix that. I may have to try to do something special when we get to 200. But yeah, so let's take a look through the pool. So 2 Robogoyles is pretty good here. Those will fit into anything. If somebody tries to run a mill Evo pool against us, they're going to have a bad time. I'm going to throw Hextricator in here, sight unseen too for now, just because it's fixing. Can easily get brought back in later, or taken out. Not much in Great Wild here. Hey, Timothy's nice. There's a Pomegranate, but no momentum payoff here. A couple Bloom Butchers, a Trick. I'm not super sold on Wild. Sapphire. Couple swooping Gravitas, those are decent for Evo. A Dingle Dance. 3 Fallen, is that real? Yeah, they fixed that bug, that's real. 3 Fallen to Despairs. We want to go our own mill route. Hey, get up here. Alright, in Ruby. Wow, 3 falls. What do you mean by 3 falls, Chicago Charlie? Oh, yeah. Never mind. Derp, I know what you mean. Yeah, 3 fall into despair is pretty nuts. Off the chain. Return to Cinder. There's a few good removals in here. There's that vile thing. But really not much going on here. Mill, please. In Diamond, Overwhelming Guilt, Live Ants, Sky Chasers. Yeah, let's hope for some mill here. What's in blood? Okay, there's that. That's mill. That probably helps get us some cards. That's removal. That's mill. Nameless Peddler, Rage 2, Deathcry, bury a top card each opposing champion's deck for each point of attack that has. This will be decent because it has +1 attack for each constant you control. We'll take that. We'll take that because we're in mill, so that can get bigger. -1/-1 for each troop and opposing crypts. I think I kind of have to take what I've got for troops. I'll come back to you, Buffalo. I'm not so desperate to throw you in there yet. Alright, so then you're playable. You're on theme. I don't like how heavy that is. 3 of you. You're in here. You're in here. You're probably in here. Alright, so that's kind of the basic situation, I think. I like the Robo-Goyle's main deck as 3/3 flyers and anti-mill tech. If we're in a mill-on-mill fight, this deck is going to win. Probably, unless they've got something absolutely insane. What gets cut? And what do you get gemmed with? Your anti-Night Warden? I kind of agree with you there. Barry, oh, here, Barry the... that can be gemmed with Barry, so that'll hit. Night Warden isn't on theme, it doesn't do much. Probably need to cut one more thing. Oh, Extricator's in here, but how bad's our curve? 1 point, Extricator could maybe go too. And then we're down to 14 troops. Unwritten End might not be that good with a low troop count, but who knows. Cost 5. Nyctophobia is about as much removal as we've got. Cruel Sentence is decent. Draw a card, verdict. Or does Cruel Sentence go? Because all it is it's one verdict trigger. We don't have much other means for payoff there. And draw 1 card to replace it. I think Cruel Sentence goes. Niarna. Almost certainly. Alright. So, coming up on last call at the moment to let me know if you wish to challenge the dungeon. If you have a deck of common and uncommon cards, Immortal format, and wish to challenge me, let me know. Otherwise, as soon as I get my shard base here, we're gonna actually play this thing. Got tests. Tests you're studying for? Hey, that stuff is important and should not be trifled with. Challenge you when you're done building this deck, I guess. Excellent. Excellente. Alright, so this is pretty even split. Yarna requires Sapphire, right? Yes. I'll challenge you with this Ruby Wild deck you copied from you, lol. Well, if it was the one I showed on stream at the very beginning of the stream, you can't use that one. How do we sleeve this baby? Let's go, since we're in mill, go full-on face tentacle suction action. And yeah, let's just stay on a boat. Alright, so I have that saved, so this can actually be playable. Okay, and so does anybody have a dungeon deck now? I'm going to give it about 10 to 15 seconds to see if anybody has a deck and wants to challenge the dungeon now. Otherwise, we're going to play an Evo game to buy everybody some time to get themselves ready. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Alright, we're hitting the button. We're looking for an opponent. And I will check in with you all about challenges as we go. And build, there you go. Watch an Evo and build something that's not candles. Well, thank you for building something original. The Dungeon Master thanks you kindly. Okay, you're ready whenever? I have... Oh, yep, I found an opponent. So as soon as this game is over, Ducklet, you're up. Could not exit out in time. Alright, so it is... Oh, this is a keep. 2, 3, 4. It's Mill versus Farts. And Swampbud is going first. Okay, no turn 1 play. Actually, that's an even stronger turn 2. Because all this is a 1/1 flyer right now. Survival Squirmhound. When it attacks, bury the top 2 cards of each opposing champion's deck, and then it gets +1 attack for each troop buried that way. So that is now our turn 2 of choice. Throw down that Blood Shard. Vile Squirmblood. Squirmhound, whatever it's called. And now the next turn is going to be the plan would be for Nameless Peddler. I like, when I'm playing this kind of deck, to try to have an aggro start as much as possible and live in a world where it's possible I win by damage and not have to mill out my opponent's entire deck. May at least keep them honest. Alright, so they see our Squirmhound with a Nameless Peddler. So, I think the swing comes first. Got rid of a piece of removal and Swamp Gas, which is also kind of a piece of removal. Take your block. Bone Tide. Alright, I'm a little unhappy that they get to swing with Bone Tide first. But there are 2 of the Robogoyles in here. If we can bury some troops, this could take that out, because it only gains attack. So we need to find 3 troops to make this big enough to take that out. Otherwise, I think fall into disrepair number 1 is probably the expected play next turn. Okay, you can follow that up with more removal. Yep, swamp gas. Bummer. We hit another piece of removal. Wow. There were already 2 gases that high up there. That's a lot of actions. These are a battle of 0-win Evo pools. And this still costs 10 because we've not hit anything. Alright, are you gonna bury 5 or are we gonna get a card? Want to do this pre-combat because that'll tell me what my options are. My options are, it doesn't matter, I hit a shard. Alright, so we got a troop and a resource. Alright, so I'm going to throw down fall into disrepair and going to have to seriously consider my life choices next turn based on whatever we end up milling out, because I'm taking 5 off of this thing. That thing needs to go in a hurry. I can't let it just continue to smack me around. This is an Evo, Boom Sean. This is a battle of 0-win Evo decks. This is the first game of this pool. I'm 0-0. And as soon as this is done, we have Ducklet up as the first person who has expressed readiness to challenge the dungeon tonight. Okay, so that is 1, 2... It's 2 troops. Show me another troop. Son of a bee. So that plan didn't work. The thinking had been to get another troop out of there with 1, 2... With 3 troops in there, could have just bone-tided it away. Now I have to throw down Sunset Shade as a blocker to basically chump that. Oh, that's rude. Your lethal invincible candle. So I can't even use the candle as the third thing. Alright, so filed under high-risk plays. If the candle swings... Oh, for crying out loud. This pool is nothing but removal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... I need to get this one out of my... Here, fix that. So much removal in that pack. So now we're taking 8. And dead next turn unless I find some way to either kill that or stand in front of it. What are we gonna get? Oh, come on. So they also have Robogoyle. And we're dead. Bone Tide is not going to do 3. 1, 2. Can't play that. We're just dead. So that'll become a 5-1. Yep, we're dead. Well, that was unfortunate. but it allows us to get back to the main attraction, the reason we're all here tonight, the real shenanigans. So let's throw up the dungeon map here on screen. 2 of the many branching paths have been taken out so far. All players are going to start in room 1, and then after you have defeated room 1, you have the choice of room 15, 5, 2, or 8 as where you're going to head, and you're continuing to move through the dungeon any route you want. Basically, 4 wins in a row gets you the grand prize. So 2 final bosses have been defeated, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 still remain. So quite a lot of choice on how you want to meander your way through this labyrinth of decks. And I'm going to send a Whisper to Ducklet. Challenge when ready. Alright, so Whisper is off to Ducklet, and we are just awaiting the challenge. And then we shall begin our first dungeon run of the night. So thank you all for hanging out with me here tonight on this Wednesday. If your weather is anything like it is for me in Minnesota here, it is freaking cold and kind of miserable. Alright, and so everybody has to start the dungeon by conquering your fear of butterflies. "80 degrees in Florida, I hate you so much." I'm gonna keep this even though I don't know that it's that great. Coming back to Chicago for Christmas, yeah, that's gonna be a system shock. Gotta bring the coat. Yep, you can always tell sometimes when somebody's coming from a different climate. Arriving in California and you're from Minnesota and you've got the winter jackets and all that crap that you suddenly need to put away because it's not needed. Alright, Ducklet rolling up in here with Vesper, so probably a Constance Brew. Constant Verdict Shenanigans. And it is in blood, the expected secondary shard with that. Alright, gonna take the 1 because this is going to swing as a 4/4. Alright, deck, I don't need 2 Cocoonamancers just yet. I think I'm actually gonna just go Poppy Pixie into Whimsy Witch. And swing for 6 with a blocker here. It's unlikely that whatever the Whimsy Witch was going to turn into would have 6 power up front. So do I make the Vespers bigger? Or do I make the Vespers bigger? We'll make the Vespers bigger. Alright, Ducklet seeking some guidance. Still has 2 resources in play. Alright, does not block. I would have traded. Alright, you ready to gamble? Whimsy Witch. Transform! Form of Nox Zealot. It is a 3/3. Your move, Ducklet. Going to draw a card, lose 1 health, and Verdict. Yeah. Or let's become 3/3s. Yeah, no. You can have a card. Could be a mistake, but those become 3/3s, only blocks with 1. I use a trick and there's still a threat on the board. Psh, nah. Alright, I'm going to throw down the Bluebell Dryad here, I think. Just keep attempting to build a board. Pass the action back over. Ducklet on 13. We're at 21. We are a long way from the Paracocunomancers. And a Twilight Eclipse. The beginning of the end is the beginning of the end. Did that keep the rage? How did that get... That's so weird. Okay, so 3... I think I'm going to seek fortune here. This is going to transform. That'll draw a card. Turned into a Wrathwood Master Moss with rage. So if this is killed, it transforms into a Mossling. Which could be a boon, because then it would permanently be the thing. No reason to play Wild Growth. Now I think we use Battle of Destiny. I'm going to take that one out too. And seek some adventure. Pass over the turn. Your move, Ducklet. Alright, so gained 2 health off of the Twilight Eclipse. Guidance into guidance. Strong plays. That's already 3 guidance used. Decree of Banishing. Gonna take my moss. You are gonna take my moss. Alright, throw down a badger. This is gonna be resource number 5. Gonna seek fortune for resource number 6 so that Cocunomancers have a shot. Going to transform Bluebell Dryad so that when it reverts, it gets back its ability to draw a card. And swing for 6. Yeah, just 6. Ducklet down to 9. Until he gets half of a good chunk of the damage we dealt right back with Twilight Eclipse. And I don't think Butterflies has any means in this deck to destroy that as a constant. Alright, Summon a Daybreak or troops get -1/-1. That can be worked around. And this is going to revert that away anyway. Stop playing constants. Oh my god. Choose a resource, get one that doesn't even have impact this turn. Regret. Seek some adventure. 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. This is like... Ducklet's in a good place here, because 1, 2, 3, 4 of this 6 damage immediately comes back. I am just going to... Wild Growth here to try to get in some more points now. Just kidding. Although Strangle was used on a more irrelevant troop that way. Ducklet at 11.
Hey guys,
we're at 9.
Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, feel free to click on these other videos. You'll probably enjoy them.
Bye Badger.
If you really enjoyed the video and want to help me produce more content,
Oh, it's real bad now.
go to my Bandcamp page and pick up an album or support
Umbral Guard. When you verdict, this deals damage equal to its power to each opposing champion.
Peace out. See you next time.
Alright, so cannot profitably swing in there, so we're just gonna let her go. Down to 4 though, and dead next turn. Ducklet says no, takes away our Cocoonomancer. I have to block that. That becomes even bigger. That's not going to change anything. Alright, so Ducklet's going to have us dead off of Twilight Eclipse here. And there is the... Is he going to do some shenanigans? So many cocoons. Yeah, so the butterflies are dead. Ducklet is not afraid of any transforming butterfly. So he's not afraid of any Cocoonomancers. And now we need Ducklet to tell us which direction we are going through the dungeon here. Ducklet could choose rooms 5, 15, 2, or 18. If a room has an X through it, it means somebody already cleared that path through the dungeon. And so as people continue to defeat bosses, I will X off more and more of the dungeon. And we'll keep going from there. 15, alright. So Ducklet's going to go to 15, and from there would have 18 or 16 as choices. Ducklet, go ahead and send me a challenge when you are ready. And we know what deck I'm running. Or we would know which number I'm picking. 15 is Technophobia, the fear of technology. And if we're being honest with ourselves, probably one of the easiest decks in the dungeon. This is an example of me pushing a theme more than pushing a strong list. Trying to make a more spirit-centric verdict list, it's kind of meh. Beats the Dungeon Master, goes, my deck's It's nothing special. This is keepable. So I want to save the Crackling Vortex as long as possible here, since we've got Charges Matter Mecha Hive. And I'm gonna Crackling Vortex to put something adventurous on top of the deck. Pass her back. On 3, we have Inductocopter Bot. When this attacks, gain a charge. And Mecha Hive, when you gain a charge, this gets +1/+1, and then it can peel off some of those charges for Bumblebots. Okay, that's even better for turn 2. Well of Innovation, grab some Sapphire, throw down Reactor Bot. Reactor Bot, whenever you gain a charge, this gets +2/+2 this turn. So next turn, the play could actually be put target troop in its owner's hand. So if it's just that, throw. Okay, it's not just that. Neomaster, this dungeon thing, it's to participate in the current dungeon, you need a deck that is crap. Well, that was really bad for me. You need a deck that is Immortal format, so all sets are legal. Cards are common and uncommon only that you can use, with the exception that you are allowed to use rare resources. If you have a deck that meets the rules, then just speak up in chat, let me know, and give me your in-game name. And then we roll from there. Pull up the map very briefly. When you're challenging the dungeon, everybody starts on room 1 of this map here, and then if you win, you pick a different room number as to where you want to go, and when you get to the end of one of the different 4 room paths that you can take, if you defeat the final boss, then you win the grand prize, which is viewable by typing in !prizes in chat. That will show you what the current prize list is. I do it that way so that the screen is not cluttered up with an ugly pile of text. Matches are best of one, and if you lose anywhere along the way, your dungeon run is over, and the prize pool grows for the next person to challenge the dungeon. So if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so this is quick. I'm really missing that reactor bot right now. That's 4. Bot. Kemptiger and Slate needs a few more artifacts to die before his power is going to go off. I think Inductocopter Bot's just going to have to sit here sad for a minute. Mecha Hive has some great potential here. Would really love to find a different 5th shard. Really love to find a different 5th shard. To be able to play Mecha Hive and then gain 2, 3, 4, 5 charges the turn after that would be just fantastic. Right, I'm going to go ahead and sack the Inductocopter bot here. So that's 2 in the crypt. Alright, so there's the 5th resource. Kind of. He's going to seek some adventure and pass the turn, because now next turn Mecha Hive can be played and immediately go from a 3-3 to a 5-5. And it's going to be a relevant piece of blocking. Twilight Eclipse. Crackling Tide only hits troops. Can't stop that. Gonna take the 4. Play down Mecha Hive. Play down Crackling Vortex. And how much do you take to peel off? It only takes one energy or 1 resource to peel off a Bumblebot. So going to do that. Although that does put Mecha Hive in strangle range this turn, which is the recipe for a potentially very sad day, and I made a huge mistake. As soon as I start saying, well, I just put it in strangle range, and immediately find another Crackling Vortex. Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, that was about a 12. Alright, so now Electroid can get a little bit of payback here. So I think we start trying to maybe crack in a bit. This needs to stay as a check on that. I'm going to hold Energize just to see if I draw anything else that makes charges matter. So right now we do have enough charges to summon another... Have a Daybreak, fine. We do have enough charges to hit this for another Warbot. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and Crackling Tide that though. Wow, this actually looks like is playing like a deck that has a theme. I'm gonna crash in with all of this. Gotta, I think, start being a little more aggressive. We're gonna eat a Verdict. I think I'd rather let you have a card than another constant. That may be a mistake. I'm gonna Energize for 3 charges. We now have another Warbot next turn. so I can discard a Crackling Vortex or a Crackling Vortex. I guess what we do... No! No! Oh, 2 Twilight Eclipse is so bad. Alright, 2 Twilight Eclipse probably means GG. Double Twilight feels bad. Because now I dealt 6. So and that's like all coming back. Yeah, this game's over. This game's over. I'm just pleased this actually played like a deck for once. Normally this deck just has, historically so far, has just laid down and died to everything. Yeah, that's fine. If we're gonna go down, we go down swinging. But Ducklet's got us dead. Alright, so that is two decks defeated. Ducklet has defeated number 1 and number 15, and now has a choice of which direction to go for the home stretch. Either 16, 17, or 18, 19, because those chain directly into each other. Yeah, Twilight Eclipse feels good for the person wielding it. Not so much for the victim. But so, what are our potential final two challenges? 16, alright. So we will go 16 into 17 if you defeat 16. So just go ahead and send me a challenge when you are ready. And we shall do it up. Reminder, Ducklet is currently the only person who's challenged the dungeon tonight. The queue is wide open behind Ducklet. So if you have a deck that is commons and uncommons only, with the exception of rare resources, you wish to challenge the dungeon, do speak up and let me know. Because currently, there is no wait. What deck are we playing again? 16. 16 is Cataptrophobia, the fear of mirrors. I do not expect anyone in chat to have actually known that that's what the word is. I certainly didn't. I had to Google phobias. Brainsmog has to go to bed soon. Understandable. Don't know where you are in the world, but I am U.S. Central Time. It's 7:45 to 8 p.m. for me. Ducklet approves of Soaring Talon. And so we can get a Howling Brave down. Need to do Immortal for the tickets, but not even sure it's going to fire. Close to 3 a.m. for you. You've got to be in Europe. God, if it was 3 a.m., I would be literally dead. I'm not very good at being a night person, so I think for me I'd be like incredibly just kind of crabby and obnoxious. You don't want to see me stream at 3 a.m. That'd be bad. So we're going to Howling Brave into a turn 2 Dreamsmoke Mystic. Should have been sleeping already. Alright, so we are going to be grabbing a Windborne Ascension next turn. And here we have Parallel Realities. Target troop you control gets when this attacks, summon a copy of it, then revert this. So basically he keeps chaining a copy down the line for every time that one gets to attack, which is pretty well represented within the art. That is basically what is happening. You get boing, 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 and the longer it lives, the more bad things are going to happen for your opponent. And this is just, you can see the top card of your deck, and if you want, put it on the bottom. Alright, so I believe it's possible to win Born Ascension into actually playing what we hit. And we have a Nagan Lapidary. When this attacks, gain... Oh, it's gemmed with the ramp gem. When this attacks, gain +1/+1. When this deals champion damage to champion, you may void it. If you do, gain control of target opposing troop. And it gets the sockets. That's sweet. Howling Brave being a real MVP here, helping ramp up. Soaring Talon requires 7 resources to give up to 2 target troops flight. You can have a Daybreak. I think I'd rather you gain a little bit of life than me start losing it. Three, 4. I'm gonna go ahead and just put a resource on top. Cerulean Mirror Knight, as another troop with cost equal to or greater to this enters play, it's going to get Death Cry, draw a card. And then I'm going to go ahead and attack with these 3 things. You know what? I misplayed that a bit. I could have had Vigilant Duskwing out this turn. I forgot that that is a ramp gem. Ducklet has no plays. And let's go ahead and make swing. Don't get charges, though. The Lapidary gets strangled. The Vigilant Duskwing is going to come out. It's going to have the Death Cry. And next turn, it's going to get smacked with Parallel Realities. This deck has a lot of kind of rule of 2 action going on to it. Lots of like 2-ofs, copies. And having a couple of resources to burn, I don't want a resource on top of my deck. Alright, Parallel Realities. Go, Chain of... And that's going to have... That is the Death Cry on it twice. Oh, that's going to keep getting exponential Death Cries. Oh, that's nuts. Because the next one will have the Death Cry on it 3 times. Oh, I'm so happy I got to actually play Parallel Realities. This deck usually has not lived long enough to get to do that. Alright, so there's a Twilight Eclipse down. Opposing troops can get +1/+1. And I'm gonna hope that this will... Oh no, I meant to get rid of the resource. Ah! Alright, well, we'll just do this towards, I guess, the, being able to use the power. Swing in with these 2. Now I think this gets the death cry on it. 3 up 3 times, so it's going to keep getting more and more of the death cry triggers on it. Although the downside is when whichever one has the most death cry triggers on it is, you know, if that one dies, it breaks the chain. So Ducklet's down to 5. And is going to seek some guidance. And up next we have Zodiac Crowfeather deploy. You may have target troop transform into a copy of this. Target troops you control get -1/-1, or they get a phantom. You can have a phantom. And so now there's 2 blockers there. We have 3 attackers. I don't think whatever transforms is going to have any delay in being able to attack. So Zodiac Crowfeather. I'd like to activate this. Thunderfield Seer has done its duty. Ship all of those. Parallel Realities left unchecked to provide 4 copies of Vigilant Duskwing. Howling Brave just too strong. GG's. Ducklet made it to the second to the last round. Yeah, Parallel Realities is in here, as is Mirror Mirror. So there's some definite mirror action in there. Alright, so that was actually the first attempt since the dungeon was cleared. And we're going to add from our queue of rares that I have extras of, we will add a Prepare for War. Alright, and so Ducklet was the only person who had spoken up this far wanting to challenge the dungeon. So if there's anybody else who wishes to challenge the dungeon, please do speak up and let me know. Otherwise, I may do one Evo game in this Evo queue, just to give people a little bit of time to deck build. And then if still nobody has spoken up, if Ducklet wants to go again, then I would let Ducklet have another basically back-to-back chance because nobody else has decided to challenge the dungeon. So I'm going to take a real quick, like 2-minute break here, grab some water. I will be right back with you, but if you wish to challenge the dungeon, feel free to go ahead and speak up in chat, and I will catch that as soon as I am back. So give me 2 minutes and I'll be back with y'all. Alright, I am back. Neomaster just grabbing 5,000 of gold to finish the deck. It's a pretty bad deck, but we'll try. Nay, no worries. I try very hard to cultivate a very casual, relaxed atmosphere in Dungeon Masters of Entrath. I mean, yes, it's a game show, and yes, I'm offering up some extremely modest prizes out of my own collection, but, you know, we're all about having fun here. You know, just throwing together random decks, having fun. I'm not going to trash people or make fun of people for whatever deck they roll with. I'm not going to say your deck sucks. Unless you roll with like one of the highly tuned, really competitive decks, in which case I'm saying your deck sucks is kind of sarcasm and like, come on, quit beating me with obnoxiously good decks. But yeah, in all seriousness, we're very laid back and friendly here. We take all kinds. I have a few regulars who have challenged the dungeon dozens of times. I don't see Raptos in chat, which is rare, because normally Raptos is my most constant viewer and has challenged the dungeon literally dozens of times. Like, nobody has challenged Dungeon Masters of Entrath more than Raptos. That's just a fact. I don't keep the numbers, but trust me on this. And he's got a good margin on the next place person, and he's never won the dungeon. And, you know, he keeps trying. I know he has a good time or he wouldn't keep showing up. He makes fun of himself a little bit for it. I don't. I think it's awesome that people want to keep playing. All right, so I'm going to jump into Evo here. Immediately found a game. We'll give Neomaster a little bit of time to finish up that deck. And if anybody else is ready to go too, let me know. Is this the same person, or is it just weird? It can't be the same person, because we're still at 0 wins. But we're playing... We went from Swamp Butt into another Swamp Butt. And I thought I got Extricator out of here. I guess I did not. So, having Emerging Blast Firm is actually kind of garbage in the opening hand. We'll see how that works. Extricator, Dingle Dance. Yeah, this hand could go places, but it's actually kind of slow. And they're in blood. I'm having deja vu. Is there a glitch in the Matrix? We go from one Ruby Blood Swamp Butt to another Ruby Blood Swamp Butt. What is going on? Our opponent wishes us good luck and have fun, so I will wish them the same. Because we are good sportsmen here. Sportsmen, sports ladies, sports people, whatever word you wish to use. Alright, hey, fall into disrepair. That's good because it's going to start our mill train going. And it also is going to power up the shade. This card, for those of you who may recall, was one of the 2 cards that I had the opportunity to spoil and discuss with Ryan Sutherland during the Hex Charity stream when there was a 4-hour Dungeon Masters of Entrath block. That was super fun. That was some of my best times, or my favorite times as a streamer. And I certainly hope that I get to have the opportunity to do that again next year and help raise money for kids. That was an absolute blast. Definitely took a while to make all of the decks based on different phobias and unravel. So our shade's gone. We're burying 3 cards. We lost some good stuff. We lost the Nameless Peddler, the Heartsworn Caller, and one of the other Fall into Disrepairs. Man, we had some gems ripped off the top. And now we have no offensive threat. Actually, no. You know what? I'm going to hit you with this first. See what you want to do here. Bury 5, give me 1. You're going to give me 1. Alright, so bad news, it's a shard. Slightly better news is it guarantees we can play the swooping Gavatros next turn. Let's play mind games with our opponent and grab a Ruby. Because we don't have anything that is more than double threshold. That also impacts what we might get as portals off of Gavatros. So that opens up new abilities to mess with our opponent. This is when you play an action, it gets +1 attack and crush. Okay, fine. I am also fine with Unravel hitting that. I'm not fine with the third Fall into Disrepair going. 2 shards and the third Fall into Disrepair are gone. Sad times. Emerging Blast Firm's down to 8. See, we can't play it. It's gonna flip, but a 5/1 Swift Strike is a good hit. We would not have gotten that jump pop possibility. You know what? Well, Extricator might have a place here. Although I think this is the only interaction where its presence matters. What is it with Swamp Butts and filthy amounts of removal? So much Swamp Butt. Stop farting on me. Gotta take 2. I like how they're doing a better job burying us than we are of them, and we're Yarna. We were built for this. Yeah, I'm not excited about it, but I'm just gonna play it. So there's something out here. That's gonna get stunned, I think. Yep, that's stunned. Your move, Swamp Butt. Dingle Dance. Revert and transform a troop into a Dingler. At the end of your turn, revert this. So that's a nice way to surprise turn a big threat into a non-threat. And just quietly sweep it off the table. What does Roadies want to do? Playing Trapper Keeper, which is gemmed with speed. When this deals combat damage to an opposing champion, a random troop in your hand gets Gladiator 2. They can swing in here, and it's going to. Alright. Do you have a combat trick? You do. So we first let that resolve. Wait, this does a revert, right? Yes. So we first let that resolve, and now we Dingle Dance to wipe it away. Sequencing is important, folks, and now that's going to be dead. And we have no play but to chill for now because we still can't afford Blast Firm. Got rid of a Herald of Roses. Ooh, and a Swamp Gas. There was a Journey into Nightmare in there. Woo! Feels good to not have to face that. Jacked Hammer, a 6/1 with Crush. Yeah, yes, Romo. Shards can be rare. Nothing else can, but shards can. I wanted people to be able to play the wells primarily, so that since matches are best of one, that meant there'd be a little bit less likelihood that a match gets decided by threshold variance. I mean, I'm fine with all the rare shards being played, but the primary intent in allowing of those was so that people could have the wells. Alright, do I get a card, or are you going to lose another 5? Engorged Gobbler. There was an Engorged Gobbler. They were going for the dream and we killed it. It was down to cost 4. Look upon my works in despair, for I am Thrawn, the Slayer of Dreams. Alright, so they still have 13 cards in deck. Didn't draw a shard. So they're sitting on Runic Decay and Rune of Fury. They will snipe in the face for 1. And why don't I have a priority bar to say, yeah, that's cool. There we go. Resolve that. Alright, and whenever you're ready, Neomaster, let me know. If anybody else is ready to challenge the dungeon, let me know. And as soon as our Evo game is done here, we will get to your challenges. Alright, Romo is ready. Excellent. Remind me your in-game name, please, as well. Rise to the challenge. Target troop you control gets +2/+2 and speed this turn. We're not going to win by damage, though. That's 23. Yeah, I'm going to actually sit on that. Swinging in for 5 in the air doesn't feel very impactful right now. Oh, you know what? I might not have WorkerBot in here anymore since it got taken down the last time, and I haven't brought it back yet. No, Robogoyle. Is WorkerBot in here? Yeah, WorkerBot's not in here right now. I need to look at getting that fixed, because it was taken down for a long time, and then they brought it back. And hey, I forget where I need to go to get that in the channel. Let's play Corpse Lily. Sacrifice it into Entrath's Hunger to draw 2 cards, gain some health. That, and play Eventide Ender. This kind of has the feeling of a stall for random troop from the crypt into their hand. Alright, so we get the Sunset Shade back. This is the feeling of basically stall and try to mill them out. Because I don't see us punching through all of that to deal 23 points of damage with what we've got here. Real shame though, losing 2 fall into despair is 2 out of the 3 not being around. Rhodey's going all out. This is going to be interesting. Show me your tricks. I'm hoping you just got bored. Or I'm gonna get blown the heck up. You're such a creep, Stefan. I'm just gonna say that on stream so everybody can hear. My best friend sends me a text that says the Dungeon Master's looking sexy tonight. Alright, so the board gets wiped. We still have this left, so that was kind of an I'm bored type swing. Play this. Play this. I was going with the berry deck, thought of a better idea. No worries. You're ready after I'm already. It'll be Romo and then Neo Master. So I still don't see us winning by damage, but I'm going to start trying to crack in a bit here while the path is open for it. 7. Nyctophobia is going to kill that. Yeah, I think we've got this one. It took a while. It's been a grind, but now we actually have lethal damage next turn. Alright, so that's a resource that was drawn. Kills the Sunset Shade. I might have gone with killing this one. You're going to face a Verdict, but this is 5 points of attack coming in. Where that was just 2. But I don't know what this card is. Okay, so that's why that decision was made. Runic Eruption still has an answer to deal with that. So that wasn't going to live anyway. We have a Phantom, you have Swamp Gases, and you're not dead next turn. Gotta do that, and swing in. I mean, we have 17 health. They can't land a troop that's going to make me feel immediately threatened. So if that's a resource, snipe. It's not. And we'll never know what that last card was. We'll never know. One win. Hey! I did not have any of these yet. So I am quite happy to see a Stalking Quarry as the rare. When this enters play, void each opposing socketed card. This gets +3 attack for each card voided this way. Really strong card. Especially against some matchups that like that. Howling Madness is good for this deck. Another Nameless Peddler is really good for this deck. So there's a few additions in the pool, which is quite nice to see. I'm so close to level 68 and another sweet 4,000 gold. Alright, but that's not what we're here for. We are here for some dungeon shenanigans. So I'm going to send a whisper to Romo SJR. Challenge me when ready. And Neo Master, what is your in-game name so that I can have you written down here and remember it for your run, which will be the next one here. Same name, okay. Well, that is convenient for me. It's not always it's not always the same, but that's good to know. I will not screw that up then when I'm sending you a whisper. And so, reminder, most people probably know this, but not everybody does. So every once in a while I will mention it. If I have sent you a whisper, you can click on my name, and you will get the option to whisper, mail, challenge, or what have you. So when you see the challenge from me, that's how you can click my face, go over and hit challenge, and then we roll from there. Because as you can see, I currently have 49 people on my friends list, and fortunately, the friends list does not sort people. Yes, I'm doing this on stream. Jakisha, Coach Flipperon, there you go. So I have 51 people on my friends list, and it doesn't. I wish it would auto-populate who's actually online to the top, but it doesn't. So I prefer just doing individual challenges versus adding everyone who's ever wanted to challenge me to my friends list. It's not that I don't like you. I love you all. But the friends list isn't a great way for me to do it. Plus, I prefer you, the challenger, send me, the Dungeon Master, a challenge, because when you are challenging me, I know you're ready to go, and I know you have the deck that you like. My decks are locked in for the dungeon, and they aren't going to change, so it doesn't matter for me. Because whatever number you pick, that's what I'm running. Alright, so we have Fate Weave, we have Party Fungi. Yeah, this is decent. This isn't super explosive, but it's workable. Gonna go ahead and seek some fortune here just to make sure we stay on curve, because we do have a Coconomancer here. Romo roll and Takahiro with a pair of naive lackeys and his in-blood diamond. I'm not sure that I have seen a blood diamond Takahiro roll up in the dungeon before. Alright, I'm going to seek another resource. Pass the turn over. So hopefully now we're good for turns 3 and 4. Go from there. Sacrifices one of the naive lackeys to draw a card and draw a card off of its power. And we got a Dread Botanist. That'll summon one Dreadling at the beginning of every turn. Wow, all the Fate Weave shards right now. 3, 4. I think I actually want to see something that's not a resource now for a turn. Throw down the Party Fungi. When another troop you control transforms, it gets +3/+3 this turn. He's not a beatdown himself, but boy does he enable some beatdowns. This deck wants to transform, and he is happy to enable it. Alright, so here's the risk. That has to attack, so I can't read anything into the fact that a Dreadling is attacking. I block it. I have no way of knowing what that means. Really didn't need another pummel. Now, Twilight Revenant is just nasty here. Life Drain and Flight. Pay 6 health, it gets invincible this turn. So basically, you're giving up 2 turns of the health it's going to give you to make it impervious to everything. That's pretty rough. And probably the only way that this deck can deal with that is to find a way to push damage through faster than Twilight Eclipse can do its own thing. And that might be a tall ask with this hand right now. I need to not look at my text messages while streaming. So now my friend Carrie, my best friend Stefan's wife, texts me. Stefan is devastated that you didn't believe the compliment. Look like you're working on your rugged look. Yeah, I don't think I've shaved in a week, and I really need to. You can say rugged look. I feel like I probably need to. I probably belong on a defender registry. Void target with attack 3 or less. I could stop that, I think, by buffing this. But then I'm kind of wasting a wild growth. I'm doing it. Whatever. Let's see if this works. I think this should buff this, and then this is going to fizzle and not do anything. And I'm correct. Yay, Bluebell Dryad saved. It is saved just to die immediately again. Well, the Bluebell ate 2 pieces of removal. So I guess that's not bad. Somebody doesn't want us drawing cards. Alright, fine. Battle of Destiny. That. So you have to pay 6 life to make it invincible. Which you're gonna do. And what do I don't even know what I want. What do I want? I probably want some adventure. I have a lot of combat tricks and I have like no troops. So we'll just sit here and block. Howling Cry. What's this do? Draw a card, lose 1 health. I think that was Scrounge, so draw 2 cards, lose 2 health. Yep, and Romo at 16. We'll almost certainly swing in again here. It's gonna gain 3 back, go up to 19. I'd love to find a way to more credibly deal damage to the Twilight Eclipse. And yeah, I wanted a good card, not a Badger. Alright, let's make this kick again. I think I Fate Weave for a resource now to get to the 5 charges. No! No! I don't think that even does anything now. Yep. Because the troop got killed, it didn't get to deal its damage to the Twilight Eclipse. So Romo does not have to pay 6 health to keep it alive. This deck is just drawn so poorly this game. It's not developing any kind of an attack pattern. Alright, so Romo, Death's Head Rider. When you scrounge some troops out of the crypt, when you play it, you force your opponent to sacrifice a troop, which is why we have to get rid of the Beaver. The Beaver, the Badger, whatever. And Romo has a clear open lane to punch Puff right smack in the face. Right smack in the face. There's a shard that I did totally ask for because I Fate Weaved a resource like a professional here. And that's going to give Romo another turn to just punch right in the face. 1, 2, 5, 7, a billion. We're dead. That's going to create 3 more Dreadlings when it comes into play. I'm not going to do the math, I'm just going to assume we're dead. And that is exactly lethal. Alright, so Romo has cleared the entry lobby. Good night, all you awesome people. Good night, Gibblemung. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Let's see, we're going to forfeit this, because matches are best of 1. And now we need to know from Romo which direction we are going. Are we going to from 15, 5, 2 or 8. Choose your destiny. And then if you win the next match, you will have another choice on which room you're going to, and that'll kind of lock in your path the rest of the way. So you have 4 options this time, and then you have 2 options the second time. And then it's just kind of a linear track, the final 2. So room 15, 5, 2, or 8. Regular watchers of the show will know what some of those decks are. Otherwise, the only way to find out is to either play it yourself or watch the stream. I don't tip my hat to what every encounter is early. I think that takes out the fun of exploring a dungeon. Alright, Romo wants 8. Sounds good. Send me a challenge when you're ready and we will do room 8. You should still have a whisper from me, so we're probably good. Otherwise, I can send another challenge if needed. And Romo will move on to the second challenge of this dungeon. How's my camera centered? Does it need to get moved down a bit? I don't know. I don't think that changed anything. We'll work with that. Also, a reminder, I always forget to tell people this when I'm making my spiel, but you are allowed to use different decks if you so desire. You are not locked into having to use one specific deck for the entire dungeon run. The only requirement is that every deck you throw up against the dungeon does meet the rules. Alright, so we've moved on from butterflies to ornithophobia, which is the fear of birds. Yeah, the challenge on the count. Yeah, it's like, why is it on the left? It should be on the right. Alright. Romo versus the dungeon. Round 2. I'm not super excited about this hand, but it's keepable. It has a diamond shard and 2 wells, which could be used for double sapphire to make Thunderbird playable. Yeah, so now that we have 2 Thunderbirds, this is almost certainly a sapphire. I see Boomshawn hitting the command to take a look at the prize list. We had 2 grand prize winners last week, so the prize list has reset and is very small because we've only had a few challengers under the new prize pool. It hasn't had a whole lot of time to build. Romo drawing a card, losing a health. Air Evolution is one of our secret weapons here. Target troop you control gets flight, and troops you control with flight get +1/+1. Almost everything has flight already, but a few things like Woolly Moa is a flightless bird, so it does not have that instant access to flight. It needs a little bit of hand to get in the air. We're going to throw down Thunderbird, good old set 1, the original set. And it's gone. And it's gone. Alright, I was just kidding. We're not going to have a Thunderbird. Romo says, no! No bird for you. And no troops. Odd. So I think I actually want to play down Woolly Moa here before Mystic Naturalist, just to try to bait out some removal that I imagine is sitting up in there, considering that Romo didn't play a troop on 4. Let's see if Woolly Moa is going to have a bad day. Alright, so there comes a Dread Botanist. And here's a Hail Hawk, just your basic 2/2 no frills flying troop. I'll play a Diamond to Fate Weave. No, 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 no. I want a non-resource. I have plenty of resources already. And swing with the Woolly Moa. I don't expect any block there. Alright, now we're going to try the Mystic Naturalist. What are the odds that this actually gets to ready and summon a Mystic Bluebird? Alright, the Dreadling is sacrificed to the charge power. Health is gained, card is drawn. There's 6 cards in hand. More health is gained, the coin is cycled, draw another card. 3 resources left, 6 cards in hand. I'm going to bet you the Mystic Naturalist creates exactly 0 bluebirds, which are 2/2 flyers. Okay, well, not dead yet. Go ahead and block 1 Dreadling. Do have to take 2 points of damage. Mo is going to sit back this time as a blocker. I don't think the thresholds matter, but I'm going to grab one of those. And 6 resources means Woolly Moa going to get played for a non-resource card. Thunderbird's going to get played. Mystic Naturalist is going to attack. And now next turn, everything alive we can hit. If we still have a Moa, we can hit a Moa and make it a flying troop. Probably want to play the Hailhawk first, so that way there's one more flying troop that's going to get a buff. And then just go and start smashing over with an Air Force. However, Romo does have a good turn to pretty well ruin plans here. Has enough Dreadlings and Scrounge fodder. A Death's Head Rider could force a sacrifice of something here. Those 2 shards are famous for having the removal suites. So that's another blast of Dreadlings. Are you going to swing in with that? You do swing in with that. And you know what? I actually want to just block Dreadlings and let that through. Keep Moas alive for the moment. One of the AI only cards here, a Silver Talon Adjudicator. If opposing champion has more health than you, gain 5 health. If they have more cards in hand, draw 2. And they currently meet both criteria. So probably want to play a Silver Talon Adjudicator pre-combat because we're still short on health. Get the health buff. Can't play Evolution now, that's fine. Throw down Thunderbird. Attack, attack. And now hit, okay, Ratcast takes out Thunderbird. I believe it has to be cost 3 or less. Yeah, it has to be cost 3 or less, so that can't hit the Bluebirds. Hit the charge power to make all the attack on those smaller, so that the Dread Apprentices can't kill the Moas this turn. They lost attack too, so they also actually can't kill those back. But it means they can't profitably swing in here. And so only a Dreadling is going to come in. Now if we draw a resource, oh, this is mean. Alright, so we've got another AI only card here. In Silver Talon Mandate, deploy summon 3 Birdocrats. When a troop you control readies, add a debate counter to this. Then if there's 6 counters, the mandate returns to your hand so that you can basically play it again and get 3 more birds. So the evil here is to play Silver Talon Mandate to get 3 birds. Then play Airvolution to make one of our flightless birds a flying troop. And all of them flying troops get bigger. Boom! Massive flying Air Force. This deck is also not known to go off this well. I think Romo had kind of a slow run this time. Rotcast is going to take out another bird, so maybe I'm speaking prematurely. Rotcast is going to take out a bird. So Romo doing his best to holy snikes! Is that all 4 Rotcast? That is 4 Rotcasts. The complete set. Snipes another bird. That one wasn't attacking. I'm gonna go ahead and use the charge power again. Nerf all the ground troops. This is half... The mandate's never gonna trigger. Game will be over by then, probably. But we found a few of the rares. Okay, so we have to sacrifice a troop. I think we're going to sacrifice the MOA to guarantee that the next draw is not a resource. And if this is a swing, I think we eat everything. Okay, just... I'm going to go ahead and let that Dreadling hit me. And go swing, 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 swing. And that's, yep, that's lethal. Romo, unfortunately, was not able to build a big enough front fast enough. And I want to check rarity here. Okay, yeah, it's just 2 Silver Talon Adjudicators and 4 Silver Talon Mandates in there, plus the shards. So not that overwhelming. Get 4 Rotcast and 1 Winter's Grasp when every win con is 4 cost, right? That takes... The Flying Air Force takes a little bit of time to build up. But when it gets there, it's sweet. Alright, so we are going to add another 2,000 gold into the prize pool here. Get all that updated. And Neomaster, you're going to be up. I need to take another real quick break before we actually start our challenge. I'm going to send you a Whisper, though. Whisper, N-E-O... W Master challenge when ready. Alright, so I've sent you the Whisper. I do need to AFK for just a minute though. I will be right back and then we can get this show on the road. Alright, I am back. Alright, so Neomaster, whenever you are ready, shoot me a challenge. As all other challengers before you, we will start with room 1. And if you clear room 1 and defeat those pesky transforming butterflies, then the whole dungeon lies before you on where you would want to go from there. Room 1. So in tonight's episode, we've seen, of course, the standard starting room butterflies. We have seen the entirely artifact and charge gain deck. We've seen Fiona Honeyfinch's Bird Air Force. Seen a mix of a few things. Alright, Neomaster rolling up with Bishop Elijah. And under the definition of greed, I am keeping a 1-shard hand because it's an ice. Gain a charge Fate Weave, which means we can put another resource on top of the deck. So really, we have 2 resources here. We're going to have to hope and pray that it's a wild resource. But let's see what we draw. Our deck, of course, the sleeve is the first-year anniversary sleeve, a sleeve from 3 years ago, with Princess Cori, the patron saint of Hex. Seek some fortune here. And pass the turn. And where is Cori here? Oh my god, has that been there the whole time? That could not have been there the whole time. But Princess Cori is also our channel emote exclusive to subscribers. I had to get special permission from Corey Jones himself for that. Because if you are going to do a channel emote that is based on anything Hex related, they basically want it to look exactly like something that came off of a card. And as you can see, the Princess Cori art that I had commissioned does not look like an existing card. It's kind of a cutesy anime stylized Princess Cori. And so they were honestly not going to allow that, but Corey gave me the thumbs up. So I'm quite appreciative to him that we can have some random silliness in emote form. So you will see me from time to time spam that in other people's channels as my calling card, and whenever anything random and crazy happens in someone else's channel. So I am pretty sad though that the resource drawn was a second Sapphire. That is not helpful, because now we have a fistful of cards that can't be played until we find one. Alright. And a Winter's Grasp, no Whimsy Witch fun. The witch is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Oh, hey look, she called her twin sister in to play. And so we still have some good old times with the Whimsy Witch. She's like, hey, I'm back. You thought you could kill us, but you can't keep us down. Sacred Stance. Oh god, it's conscript. It's a trap. The Sacred Stance. Every time you conscript troops you control and in your hand get +1/+1. So things can just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Alright, so our response to that would be Wild Shard into Party Fungi. Come on. Come on. Punished. Punished so hard for keeping that hand. Alright, what'd you transform into? Just a 3/4. I'm going to sit on the Runic Chrysalis. Okay, so really heavily, heavily punished for keeping that hand. But it was just, all it needed was a couple shards and it was going to be explosive. Transform things, get bigger, bigger, bigger. Well, actually, this is removal, but... Alright, so now the Eager Lackeys are each 3. We're going to eat 6. And the trolling continues. Alright, can't swing here. Badger's the worst card, so we'll throw that away. So the Merry Caravan, I think, all just got together one night and drank way too much. And then Neomaster said, "Hey, I'm gonna challenge you guys," and they're like, "Nah, we don't want to fight." Oh God. Choose one. Draw 2 cards to transform this into an unlocked aberration. When you have more cards in hand than an opposing champion, this is +7/+7. Well, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. I think for shenanigans, I let that do its thing. And I'm going to turn this into a butterfly so that it becomes 4/4. And then theoretically, and it's gone. So the thought had been to turn that into a 4/4 butterfly, which would have been able to kill the Eager Lackey. Instead, our witch is voided into oblivion, and we eat all of that damage. And now the wild shard is going to show up when it's already too late. Nope. Look at this. 13 cards deep into the deck. 2 resources, none of them wild. That's just bad. And so Neomaster elects to take two cards off of that. Gets a Duplicitous Duke, which copies itself. That's 4. That's enough. That's enough. So the butterflies didn't even show up to play. And Neomaster has a very easy win, sailing through the initial counter of the dungeon. And now, as the others have tonight, Neomaster is faced with that same choice of going to room 15, 5, 8, or 2, and choosing which direction they want to go. If you choose 15, then you can either go left or right. Obviously, you can't go up anymore. Yeah, nobody has gone to room 5 today. It's been 15 and 8, I believe. I don't recall anybody going to 5. Yeah, what is 5? I'll be able to tell by the name if we've played it tonight. Alright, Neomaster, load deck. Ooh, I can actually take a challenge from here. I thought I would have screwed it up. Oh yeah, nobody's played 5 tonight. Definitely not. Because room number 5 is the fear of rejection. Raptos isn't here, but if Raptos was here, Raptos would tell you all about how much this deck makes him rage. Our champion is Daughter of Stars for the low price of 10 charges and 4 Sapphire Threshold. Put each opposing troop into its controller's hand. So Droka Outcast, when you conscript a troop, this gets +1/+1. So things can keep getting bigger. It's going to take time for our deck to get going because the cheapest troop we have is the 4-cost Cyclone Shaman. We do have 2 actions that will be able to bounce things back into our opponent's hand. Time Ripple makes whatever we bounce more expensive. Crackling Tide does not, but we get a charge off of it. to help build towards the all-important number of 10 charges. Alright, have to take 2, no blockers, can't afford time ripple. Alright, play a shard, pass. I don't actually mind drawing a sapphire there. It gives me peace of mind knowing that we will hit Cyclone Shaper on time, or Cyclone Shaman. So the next troop in your deck gets deploy. Target action with cost less than or equal to its troop from your crypt in your hand. So basically, like if it was another Cyclone Shaman, it could pull an action that costs 4 or less from the crypt into the hand, which means we can get some of these bounce actions back to use again. Alright, so now you're going to do that, and I'm going to do this in response. I don't want to actually throw the Eager Lackey back into the hand, because if I throw the Eager Lackey back in the hand and it gets played again, it's going to make another troop, which is going to trigger the Sacred Stance to make everything bigger again. So it's actively bad to try to balance that. That's also why they have Bishop Elijah. Neomaster knows if we kill this, they can use their charge power for 4 resources to bring it back and keep cycling up, making everything bigger. Alright, so I can't do anything but play a resource and pass again. Well, we have a little bit of a disco Star Wars in the background. The Last Jedi comes out next week, y'all. I'm more than a little bit excited for that. Wayfaring Conqueror, search your deck for an outpost and put it into your hand. Exhaust 5 troops you control, gain control of target outpost. So none of that text is relevant. It's a 4/4 for 2, which is still pretty darn good. Alright, so we'll throw it on a Cyclone Shaman so we have something on the board. Throw a Prophecy trigger on the next thing in the deck and just pass it over. Alright, Neomaster seeking some guidance, trying to find something else in the deck. While that's going on, bear with me, just checking out a few things. Alright, another Eager Lackey is going to come down, so everything is growing again. And it's gone. Winter's Grasp. Putting in work today. Several people have been using it, and it has gobbled up a lot of things. And so we're in a... oh boy, we're pretty dead. Bounce Castle not pairing... not... yeah, I think we're just dead. Because these don't help. That could have been played, but yeah, it's not any better than playing this. A 3/3 versus 2/4 doesn't really mean much, and it's gone. Decree of Banishing is going to take that out of play. And so Neomaster rocking the old, I say old school, even though Scars of War were, Hero Fall and Scars of War weren't that long ago. But Conscript is going to crash through again. And I'm going to forfeit this because we lost. That's not OBS. That's not OBS. Derpa, derpa, derpa. Here's OBS. Get the dungeon map up again. Alright, so Neomaster's cleared room 1 and cleared room 5. So there are 3 possible paths from here. There's either room 18, room 6, or room 11. And that choice, whatever is chosen, is going to lock you in for the next 2 matches. Okay, so 11. So we'll be going 11 and 12 are going to be the final 2 matches of the run. 11 is monophobia, or the fear of being alone. And this is kind of a loose definition on that, because there's actually a lot of troops all working together, but there's only 1 copy of every troop in this deck. Oops. Well, yeah, I'll take that down here. And let's get rid of the dungeon map. Alright, Sir Giles Rowan. 4 charges, target troop you control, and all troops that share a trait with it in all zones get +1/+0. So every troop in this deck is human. This hand is garbage. Well needs another resource to work, so that's literally a 0-shard hand. This is literally a 0-shard hand because wells require a threshold before they can do anything for you. And so it's come to this. Because I don't want to draw to 4. Okay. Scion of Lyvanth was a brilliant draw, though. Pretty punishing card early in the game if not removed. When you play a non-resource card, illuminate 1, which means we can start flooding the board with candles. Except that we've seen from Neomaster that they have the ability to get rid of it. All they need to play is Winter's Grasp, and it would be immediately voided and out of here. But if it lives long enough to do some damage, that'd be good news for us. Alright, so I'm going to hold onto this for as long as possible. Karloth Cobblestone requires human allegiance to let you choose from 3 different thresholds. We have 2 humans in hand, so we know we can do it. The reason I delay is that requires Sapphire, that requires Ruby, and you know, if we draw one of those shards that gets that natively, then I can save the Karloth Cobblestone to try to fetch the other one later. And since we can't play either of those until turn 3 anyway, it makes sense just to hold on to it for a bit. And now we'll decide if we have to play it. Well, we're going to play it, but we're going to play it for Ruby because we have access to a Sapphire threshold off of this ice. So, go Ruby. Throw down the Scion of Lyvanth. The deeper in the dungeon you get, the harder the decks are supposed to get, and it's gone. See, I said Winter's Grasp. I walked right out into it. Funny thing is, Vanguard of Gawain's going to be immune to that. Vanguard is going to be a 3/2 with Swift Strike because we have the Ruby threshold. Alright, so that hit a Field Medic, which is a 3/3. Gained 1 point of health because it has a healing ability on it as well. I'm going to play this resource because we don't need a 4th right now. Seek some adventure to find something we can play. Throw down Vanguard of Gawain to have a 3/2 Swift Striker. And give all humans +1 point of attack. Yeah, attack 3 or less. Okay, so that 1 point wouldn't have saved the Scion anyway. Battle prep. And Decree of Banishing is going to take out the Vanguard, so now we have no troops. You have to take 3 points of damage. And I'm going to throw down the Ardent Officer. When this attacks Ardent troops, you control get +2 attack and +1 defense. And that's going to apply to all troops because we're playing all Ardent humans. I'm going to Shackling Strands on the medic here. so that at every combat phase it exhausts. So it's going to be neither capable of attacking or blocking. It can still ready, but it doesn't have any diligence trigger on it, so the fact that it's going to constantly exhaust and ready does not matter. No troops currently encrypt from Neomaster to resurrect. Battle Prep, I believe, is a 1-cost troop. Yeah. So that whatever that hit made is playable this turn. And it was a Bright Moon Brave. And there's a set. Oh, no. Is that. I miss a consequence. There were 2 of them. So one of them was a 3/3 Bright Moon Brave, and the other was a 4/3 Savage Raider. Alright, we get Prestidigitator, deploy, create a random action with cost 1 that we can play, and put it into our hands. Let's see what we hit. Please be good. Heroic Inspiration. Actually, probably pretty good here. Target blocking troop gets a massive +8/+8 this turn for the low price of 1 resource. Now this would only become 3 defense if it attacks, which means it can get killed by that. So I'm not going to swing here. Nobody expects Heroic Inspiration. That has to attack anyway. So we see what the attacks are. Block with something. Unless it's removed, it should survive the block. For those of you who may just be tuning in, you are watching Dungeon Masters of Entrath, the Hex TCG game show I run on my channel every Wednesday night. We have been doing this since February. It is actually, in 2 days, it would be the official 10-month anniversary of the show. Done 43 episodes in that time. This is very laid-back, casual, kind of kitchen table style PvP, or yeah, player versus player action, with as much of a PvE flavor to it as I'm able to bring to things. I think I'm just going to go ahead and get that off the table. I want a Heroic Inspiration this to keep it alive. The format is immortal. All sets are legal. Common and uncommon cards only, with the exception that you may use rare resources. Alright, so another decree of banishing means that the Ardent Officer's gone. And a resource doesn't do jack for us. So we're going to play Inner Conflict on that thing, so it can't attack or block anymore. And so now basically we're both staring at naked boards. I mean, Neomaster does have 2 troops, neither of them can hurt me. And I have literally nothing on my side. Oh, wow, that's a good hit. So Cyclone Shaper is empowered to become a 4/6 flying troop, and all actions in hand are going to have cost -2. That is a insanely good conscript hit there. Goliath, what's up? How are you doing this evening? So Bright Moon Brave comes back, so this is a little bit bad. That didn't help for squat. So I'm still naked over here. This is the final run of the dungeon, right? Do you mean, what do you mean, there's no more challengers today, or that it's only 9:06? I normally would stream until 10. If I have an active chat and people hanging out and a reason to keep going. So, Goliath, I expect that even if Neomaster goes the distance, Neomaster only has 1 game after this. and then win or lose, their run would be done. So we have time for you if... Oh god, I'm super dead. We have time for you. Brains Mog can't sleep. Could challenge. It's after 3 a.m. for you, and Goliath could challenge. Alright, well I will go Brains Mog first by virtue of I'm fairly certain it's later in the night for Brains Mog than it is for Goliath. And he who is up absurdly late gets priority. Princess Victoria. Way too late. So we're... I don't even know why I'm doing this, but we'll give all humans +1 attack. We're done on board, though. All that's needed is the Cyclone Shaper. Alright, Brains Mog gonna throw something together. Neomaster is on the final boss. Or will be in just a moment. Alright, so we'll pretend we know what we're doing. We're still super dead. So Neomaster running Conscript, a deck I'm actually rather partial to. And it was what I was using to do a little bit of laddering on PlayStation from time to time. Yeah, that's still standard legal. I could still use that deck for the most part, I think. So we are down to the final battle. Room 12. Wait for Neomaster to challenge when ready. And we're going to have ourselves a boss fight. Room 12. Room 12 is Gynophobia, the fear of women. And this deck, full disclosure, it is a final fight for a reason. This deck is very hard when it works properly. Very hard. So let's see if Neomaster is able to overcome a boss fight. Well, not with that hand. Oh, good lord! Here, this deck's super hard. Moles to 5, can't play anything. Alright, so Razor Edge Duelist is going to be the play on turn 2. Gets +1 in Swift Strike until your next turn if it gets to ready. And then we have a Sign of Live Anthem here again. Every time we play a non-resource, we can illuminate. You use in standard constructed because you're poor? Hey, whatever works. It got me to... When I used it in PlayStation, it got me into gold. So I won more in packs, laddering with Conscript than what it cost. Alright, and so let's get the Duelist down. Sacred Stance is a problem. Alright, swing first. Throw down Scion. And is Scion still on the table at our next ready phase? Survey says if anything else gets played, it actually will be. It will be! But those shenanigans are actually going faster than I think Candles would. So that's 3 that I have no interest in blocking. So this is actually like too ghetto to be able to swing into that. Alright, so we get 1 candle off of the Scion. We get one more candle off the Flamelit Zealot. We get one more candle because I want to illuminate. So we've got our little candles beginning to go, but now we need to illuminate to try to start building up candles faster than Neomaster is able to go wide on Conscript, and that's kind of a tall order. So Neomaster seeking some guidance, has 6 cards in hand, whereas we only have 1. Conscripts yet another troop, everything gets bigger. So Conscript showing it's still got the stuff. Alright, 4, 4, and 7, 6, yeah. Now when you die, you illuminate 1. And of course, the sad thing about killing any of these is all of them can be brought back by Bishop Elijah. So that's a lot of damage. I'm just gonna block like this. There's no good blocks right now. I'm gonna make another candle. That doesn't help at all. Let me see here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. Crackback is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Even one conscription trigger would be lethal. I'm going to wax stone. I'm going to make the candles bigger. Oh, and then I'm going to make the candles bigger. I forgot because I get the one off of that. It says 4, 8, 12, 16. Not quite lethal. Into an open. Sadly, 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18. 1 point short of a kill. Can't swing with everything. I think I'm going to leave 1 candle back and just swing with these 3. Didn't have lethal. And now let's see what kind of fresh pain Neomaster can cook up with 5 cards in hand, 4 resources, and a resurrection. Okay, nothing to resurrect. But now we're in a little bit of an awkward stance because my candles are up to 4. Those cannot be hit by Winter's Grasp. They're too big for that now, so there's got to be some other kind of removal to deal with them. These would just trade for each other, but Neomaster can't really swing in and overcommit here unless something else is going to be coming, because otherwise it's not going to take a whole lot to get for the candles to get through and be lethal. Alright, so the Ashwood Apprentice is a 5/4, and 1 troop can't block this turn. Okay. Okay. Okay, I was worried about a conscript, quick action conscript, but now all the cards are on the table. So now the important question is, what's the swing? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to take it. Go down to 5. Hope this isn't a resource. Alright, so I could make these 5, 6, 7s. Or I could make 1 more candle off of this. And then turn them all into 6s and 1 be a 3. There's 3 blockers here for 4 candles. No, no, no. You make them bigger. You make them bigger. I see this. No, 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 no. I said bigger. 5. Candle, can you control get 2? Okay, did I math this? 1, 2, 3 blockers, 4 swinging candles, 7 health. It's exactly lethal if I didn't screw this up. No resources in hand. That should do it. Oh, just barely got there. Oh, oh, that was close. That was so close, Meow Master. Got all the way to the final boss. That was a heck of a run. Give Meow Master some applause. High fives when they come back in the chat. Very well fought. Very, very close. Candle's able to just push through that last bit of damage at the very end. And we are going to add paired power into the queue. Or into the current prize pool. We'll delete that out of the queue. And Brains Mog, you are up if you have a deck ready and wish to challenge the dungeon, or if you're actually ready. Okay, since you're so tired, you're playing nothing effective. Is your IGN also Brains Mog? Whisper, BRAINSMOG. Meow Master, thank you for joining the team, pledging your allegiance to the Empire. We're glad to have you. Was that the follower alert, or was that something else? Oops. Alright, so the challenge is out, or the whisper is out to Brains Mog. We will wait for... I don't know why my old... I haven't been able to get rid of my old follower alerts, even though Nightbot's out of here, and I thought I deleted all that stuff. Yeah, Meow Master has joined the action with a follow. Much appreciated. We inch ever closer to 200 followers. Which is not a super lofty total, but still a nice sign of progress over the 10 months we've been running the show. So the queue of challengers is Brainsmog and then Goliathus, and that will probably be all I have time for tonight, just to be honest with folks, because my normal stream slot ends in about 40 minutes. Alright, so we are starting with the Fear of Butterflies. Brainsmog rolling up in the dungeon at something like 3 to 4 a.m. local time. But sleep is for the weak. To challenge the dungeon is life. Okay. I know this is good, but we're not doing that again with one shard keep. Alright, we're doing that again with a one shard keep. But 2, 2, 2. Be kind to me, Kismet. We're buds. We can do this. That wasn't a shard. It's okay. This will be. And it's going to be a sapphire shard, and everything's going to be great. And we're going to curve out, and we're going to play a functional game of Hex. Alright, so Brainsmog throws down the well. Gets a ruby threshold. Ha! Kismet trolling me! Oh god, last time it was Sapphire, Sapphire. This time it's Wild, Wild. And so once again I have a hand of cards I can't play, because I am a professional. Not the candle here, too. The horror. Well, this is a different flavor of candles. Or are you talking about candles somewhere else, Goliath? Alright, so we're going to try this again. We're going to wait for a resource. And just pass the turn. Rift Spasm. If you gain 2 or more charges this turn, either summon another bolt or summon a Bolt Spasm, which is a 3/1, draw a card, or this gets +2/+2. And Energize gains 3 charges, so that's going to trigger. And Brainsmog can put some Swamp Gas, throw some farts in the deck. Do we see an attack here? We don't. They wanted it to get bigger. Alright, so here we have a Sapphire, finally. Thank you. Alright, Spell Song Sweeties turn into a copy of something when it transforms. When another troop you control transforms, transform this into a copy of that troop. So, whatever this flips to, the Spell Song Sweeties will also flip to. And when those transform, this will become a 3/2 with Crush. Hits the Spell Song Sweeties. I can't save them. Dead Fairies. No swing. Alright, so let's go Bluebell Dryad. Swing. This is going to get a card. No block. It's as if Brainsmog knows I'm holding a trick. Yeah, that's fine. Energize. Ew. More farts in deck. Alright, I'm not wasting a trick to save the Badger. Oh, the charging and the spasming, and a flying Heartsworn Collar. When this deals damage to your opposing champion, gain a charge. So we're trying to turbo fart. Alright, so Party Fungi is great here. When a troop you control transforms, it gets +3/+3. Oh, and it transformed into a 6/6 unblockable. This is gonna bury 6. Let's actually maybe go big on that while we have an unblockable opportunity. And deal 9, mill 9. Get out of here. Got rid of a Nameless Drought. Got rid of Dementia Daisies. Flame Barrage. Bunch of resources. So, a Web Scribe, when you gain a charge, target opposing troop gets -2 attack until the start of your next turn, and another Energize. So that is going to get spread out 3 times. So -1 there, and then the Party Fungi gets slapped. Wait, nope, okay, this was spread out, so they both have -1 attack. They literally... They don't hit you, they just go They tickle you if they block. Aetheron, sorry you're late. Hockey game was on. Too late for run. Probably Stigma, because Goliath is ahead of you in the queue. And I'm normally done in a half an hour. So Brainsmog and Goliath would have to fail extraordinarily quickly So I'm going to say it is probably too late for you, unfortunately. But good to have you in. Your string of perfect attendance continues. I was worried. Hadn't seen you for a bit. Alright, Poppy Pixie is going to morph Bluebell Dryad, so we're going to have a 9/9 squirrel. I'm going to YOLO swing with that. And that becomes a 6/6, which I get crap could get blocked there. Yeah, I should have waited on that and left open at least something else. Okay, so that gives something momentum. We don't want to give it to the squirrel because the squirrel is just going to revert. So might as well give it to the Poppy Pixie. Get some fringe benefit out of the fact that we kind of made a mistake there and wiped. And Brainsmog's going to throw some more farts in the deck. Your schedule today was screwed up for various reasons. Yeah, I know that feeling. My work week has just been so stupidly brutal that plus with the weather in Minnesota, the commute's been pretty bullshit. I should have a 15 to 20 minute morning commute, and maybe 20 to 30 in the afternoon because it's a little bit busier. My commutes have been on the low end 50 minutes, on the high end 70 minutes. So like triple, quadruple their normal length. So that's made me crabby. Work's made me crabby. So it's like, much rather be at home, hanging out, playing some Dungeon Masters of Entrath and some weird hex with you all. Alright, so Party Fungi is sweet. Spellsong Sweeties is sweet. And this might be lethal next turn. I'd have to math it. But Runic Chrysalis can turn one thing into a Merry Butterfly, which is going to turn the Spellsong Sweeties into a Merry Butterfly. And then they'd be 4, 7, they'd be 10/10s. Grr, Brainsmog, grr! More resources. Or, I think Brainsmog's sniping me. He might know I have it. I think Brainsmog's watching. Well, I would just need one resource to hit this combo anyway, so I guess that's not really that secret. He knows I'm dead if I have it. Yeah, GG if you get the shard. Let's see. Okay, that's not a shard, but it's still GG. Because this is going to transform, this is going to go Super Saiyan. Battle of Destiny takes out a blocker. We'll go ahead and seek some adventure. And that's 20 damage and butterflies. Right in your old swamp butt face. Thanks for the mention on the forums. Nice to see some good folks. Yeah, he can be... The way he phrases himself is a little bit abrasive sometimes. Yeah, I always hate it when you're just off the combo. And, let me see here. Goliath, I'm going to set up the challenge. Or I'm going to send you a whisper here. Goliathus. Nope, that's... Gotta hit whisper first. Sorry, I can't talk and type at the same time. But I like what you were trying to do with your deck, Brainsmog. Some kind of... With, like, the challenge combo action. It's always good to see an original build I haven't seen before. Goliath, same as always, common and uncommons only. Immortal format. Would probably have been okay against everything. Goliath, whatever decks you've used in the past are still going to work. This is just kind of a remix dungeon of older decks to buy me time to build the grand super dungeon that I'm working on. Your silly win counter daisies, yeah, just to completely mill everything out. And to answer your comment, Stigma, I don't want to get into too much personal drama or crap talking other people on my stream, but if you were serious on asking why is Jeff Hoogland exalted, my assumption on that, obviously I do not work for Hex Entertainment, so I can't say anything definitively. My assumption on that is just all the streaming he has done for the game to really elevate the profile of it, because he has a massive following from his own MTG, the Magic the Gathering side of things. If you see when he's streaming Hex, his numbers blow away any other streamer in the game. Even Neo, he'll have like 200 people watching, which is really raises the game's profile. He's brought love him or hate him, he has brought an ass load of people into this game, and we all want more people to play it. So, I mean, love him, hate him. He's a net positive for the game, as much as I know he can be abrasive in the forums. You know what? I want adventure. Oh, I've read his posts in the forums. Like I said, I really don't want to get into this too much, but even when I agree completely with what he's saying, I read the way he said it, and I go, that's not how I would have phrased that point. Yeah, I need to do this, and I'm going to go for a resource here just to make sure I'm staying on track. So Goliath has an Orchi Notion out, or an Orchi Caro. Sorry, I love this little guy. At the end of your turn, if you gained health, Fate Weave. All right, so I think I want to go for a resource or a non-resource this time. Throw down the Spell Song Sweeties. Pass it back. This just deals damage equal to its power to target opposing troop. It's not a battle. You have Fate Weave on you, okay. Just want new dungeons to play. There's no incentive to grind AZ 2 because you've done them so many times. Don't need a new AZ, just some new dungeons. Yep. I know, I understand everybody's desire for new PvE content. Yeah, I'm fine with losing Kukunomancer. It's going to be a while before I can play that anyway. I just wish the one thing that really makes me salty right now is people every week, every single week, every time there's an update, every time they're introducing a new tournament for everything, it's, oh, you're doing something for the PvP players and there's nothing new in PvE. That is, you know, that line is so obnoxious to me. And as things go on and on and on, it's getting harder and harder for me not to just salt off on those people. Actually, let's not... I can't do both of these at the same time. Yeah, I'm gonna... Dang it, what am I doing? Am I battling of destinying, or am I, poppy pixieing? Alright, this might be wrong, but I'm gonna... Seek adventure. And then I'm going to hold the Runic Chrysalis and just do nothing. You're so bored of the campaign, you're playing Pappy Jasper Desk to simulate the random troop format in MTGO with the AI. See, I'm still having fun with Adventure Zone 2, with the caveat that I have probably played far less PvE than either of you, and that could be a big portion of it. I'm still trying to collect all the mercenaries, and then I'm working on the slow quest to try to max all of them out and get the gold for that, but that's a real slow burn because like 90 to 95% of my hex playtime is PvP. And I count Dungeon Masters of Entrath in that when I say that, because obviously I'm playing against other people, so it's PvP. I think I'd rather you have a Daybreak. Ooh, another Umbral Guard. Yeah, how do you spell dead? How do you spell dead? This is dead. Those two swing, I block, and kaboom. Also, with all you with the snipes tonight. Keeping current on chat while I'm in a game with you. Alright, so Goliath. You have the incredibly important decision to make of 5, 15, 2, or 8. Don't hate the metagame, don't I have been a little bit behind on keeping track of the meta and where things are at. I mostly dislike candles, although I will admit I have been filthy and oh, okay, you paused the channel. That's fine. I suppose you can keep an eye on chat and not know what I'm doing. 2 or 8. You sound undecided. If it matters at all, nobody has challenged 2 tonight. But people have challenged 8. But you can go wherever you want. I have been playing Candles a fair amount to kind of ladder up quickly. I'm usually one of those people, I will net deck any awful, filthy, horrid thing to get to Cosmic. And then when I'm actually at Cosmic, then I'll start getting a little more creative with the decks I play. Alright, Goliath wants 5. Sounds good. 5 is Raptos' favorite deck. Raptos loves this deck. Raptos has nothing but kind things to say about this deck. Yeah, they're your favorite deck coming out of last set, and then they've just become busted good. They're like so good that everybody hates them because they're so good now. Alright, hey, I sold an Animus of Nulzon. Alright, get rid of that. I'm trying my best to sell off some of my spare cards that are actually worth anything. And that wasn't done in Immortal format. Well, your deck here is when you are rocking with. Playtest time. Alright. And we are doing room 5. The Fear of Rejection. Like I said, Raptos' favorite deck in Dungeon Masters of Entrath history. Definitely never. Here comes all the salts. This one has been dubbed by many the Bounce Castle. It nearly made me, Stigma Buster, it nearly made me break my mouse. That's how much I love it. It's a very burning hot passion for this deck. By the way, Raptos, you're definitely in the next dungeon. I figured out what I'm doing with you, but I can't tell you. I want it to be a secret and be a surprise. Just trust me, you're to be there. Oh crap! Bouncy Castle. Yeah, let's throw down the daring freebooter and play this. Alright, so stun that for a turn. Now we have theoretically an avenue to swing in unless something comes down. I'm going to go ahead and swing here. And then Buccaneer to throw that back in the hand. Again, feel free to poke as much fun at you as you wish. You enjoy laughing at yourself. Me too. Like, I've also written myself in as one of the characters, and people may not get all of the jokes, and I'm totally fine with that, but I'm going to be making fun of myself. I'm writing in my best friend as, like a twisted version of my best friend as one of the characters, so I'm going to be giving him some crap. Pandemica is being written in, and you better believe I'm going to be giving Pandemica some crap, because the version of him is going to be excessively G-rated. He's Pandemica the Kind, and I'm going to be making him as like much of a Disney parody of himself as I possibly can. So it's gonna be fun. Glory to our Spider Lord. Praise be his name. Alright. So seeking some guidance here. And now going to Verdict, so we're going to end up taking 4 off of that. I don't know what the order is here, but we'll go ahead and make it bigger. Going awesome, can't wait. Yeah, I still have at least, I think, 22 decks I have to build before it's far enough along that I feel comfortable going live with it. Because I need to have at least the first layer of every tower good to go. And then I also want to kind of work on some of the lore stuff a little bit. Yeah, we're going to balance you. And then we're going to swing with everything. I've decided I am gonna try to do a little bit of pre-production stuff for the next dungeon, but most of it is going to be me just really kind of leaning a little bit harder into the Dungeons and Dragons style Dungeon Master and doing a lot of like the storytelling stuff on the fly and just making it up as we go. Because I think otherwise, troops you control get -1/-1. I think if too much of it is pre-produced, you see it once, and then it's like whatever. You don't want to keep seeing the same thing over again, but if it's like, you know, constantly new and different, then I think it's more interesting. Oh god, so many freaking things. Oh, that was a mistake to give you a Phantom. Probably. So, the verdicting chain is starting to get real. It might not be correct to bounce that, but I'm going to bounce that. And more Verdict. Jeez, all the Verdict. I will let you know. I have a couple thoughts on that regard, Stigma Buster. So we're taking to... Goliathus gets back all the damage that I had dealt because I gave him a couple Nightfalls, or a couple Daybreaks. They gain 1 health every turn. We lose 2 health every turn because there's 2 of those. Alright. Sacrifice a troop you control. See you later, freebooter. Stop it! Ah! Alright, have a Daybreak. Don't make me sacrifice my things. Ah! Oh my god. Just... And that's gonna hit, that's gonna hit. No! 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 Bad Goliathus. Bad. Anyone who says Verdict isn't good enough, you're wrong. Death by 1,000 cuts here. Alright, so I'm pretty much just dead, right? Because that's going to deal 3 damage all by itself. Even if I sit back, that's 4 attackers. I'm going to bounce you. And I'm going to swing. And then I'm going to die. Here, kill me more. Kill me more, Master! Alright, so we are super dead. Ah, death by coin! Cling! Just ping right off the head, and dead. Alright, so that was room number 5. Defeated. And so now, Goliathus, you have 3 choices. You can go to room 18. Or is that 18? I can't even read. Yeah, you can go to room 18, room 11, or room 6. And whichever room you pick here locks in your destiny for the final 2 fights of your dungeon run. Alright, we are going 6 and then 7. Alright, shoot me a challenge. And we shall roll. Goliathus, our final challenger of the evening, making his final assault, trying to take out a boss and earn a little more glory. I am ready for you. I'm gonna refresh and check some things out over here. It's always amusing to me the disparity between channels. We're actually the number 2 stream in our time slot right now. There's 52 people watching Mokog on the official channel, and then there's us, and then the other 3 people streaming have even less. Oh my God, short-term memory. 6 and then 7. 6 is zombies. Yes, Neomaster. Dungeon Masters of Entrath. I do this every Wednesday. I stream from 5 p.m. Pacific to 8 p.m. Pacific. Or my local time, because I'm in Minnesota, which is U.S. Central, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. But as you can see, the time's up there in the top left corner. But yes, this is every week. And I've been doing it for 10 months. Alright, I don't want to keep this. This is better. I can work with this. Alright, so I think I'm going to Fate Weave for a non-resource. I said non-resource. Some real exciting things coming up with the next dungeon. Although, because I'm so freaking ambitious on what I'm doing with it, it's taking me a really long time to get it made. And therefore, I hope that once... Once the effort is done and the dungeon is complete, I'm really hoping that it lasts a long time before it gets fully cleared. I've designed it to be a thing that goes on for a while. Alright, so Goliathus has a flying 1/1. When it verdicts, it gets +1/+1 and a life drain. Hey, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, right? Plus, I would rather spend a lot of time to build bigger dungeons that last longer than smaller dungeons that people churn through more quickly. Because whenever people are pretty much done with a dungeon, that means I have to go back to the drawing board to create something new. So if I can have a big enough dungeon with enough deck variety built into it that it's going to take people a while to clear, then even though I spent an obscene amount of hours on the front end preparing everything, once that's done, it's kind of a long time before I have to actually make any new content again. Which means the only time I'd have to change things up is if you know, a new set comes out and I want to add new decks, or I find one deck is just either hilariously overpowered or hilariously bad, and I want to make some balance changes. I will be doing balance changes in the next dungeon, just because I think it's probably too much to make 140 decks and think that I got the balance right on all of them the first time. Alright, so you're dead, and you're dead. And the Spectral Sunset Shade are one of our spoilers from the charity stream, as I mentioned earlier. And now we can throw down Gallows Oak. Look at this! It's another Dungeon Masters of Entrath spoiler. We spoiled this one in the lead up to Frostheart. And we're going to throw the Deathcry power on that. We ate our own Blightbark first. No, you can draw a card. I'm not ready to sacrifice the Gallows Oak yet. Alright, there is another Sunrise Spectre. Swinging in with 2 in the air. Makes me feel good. Alright, so Call the Grave isn't great here because it's kind of anti-synergy with Gallows Gas, or Gallows Oak. We're swinging in for 5. Then we're going to play Mentor of the Grave, so we've got another decent threat down here. And we're just going to keep eating troops. So now this will make 3 zombies and 2 Blight Blossoms when it dies. Slapped in the face with a coin for 2 points of damage. Alright, and a Vesper's coming down. And another Orchikara, so wide board of weenies. And 3 flying swinging in. Alright, let's get Goliathus down with the sickness. Play Zombie Plague. I'm going to swing in with both of these. That's 9 points of damage. And Zombie Plague, at the start of our turn we reveal 3 random cards in their deck. Troops lose 1 attack and 1 defense. And if that brings them to 0, they're voided out of the deck and we get a zombie for it. It's an old card. It's fun. It's not... Actually, you know what? Sacrifice a troop I control. Grab all of that, because now I can Call the Grave and bring it back. Alright, you can have a Daybreak. This might not be fast enough, though. the the fact that all of that continues to fly over unmolested is a problem. 5 damage in the air. And Goliath gets to Fate Weave. Well, we ate a Sunset Shade. Fate Weave, a non-resource on top of the deck. Call the Grave to bring back the Gallows Oak. Replace said Gallows Oak. Yeah, I think I'll swing with all of those. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Really still worried about those air threats. Okay, we lost 1 zombie, that's fine. Haunting Cry, lose some health. Going down to 4 to pick up a few cards. Alright, can Goliathus smash in the air before we can crush through? Goes down, okay, that was just for 1. So goes down to 4, 3 cards in hand. See, we can just alpha swing for a lot here. Sacrifice an artifact or constant you control. Yeah, you know what? I'll get rid of the plague. That's fine. All right, Raptos playing Go Fish. Guidance to get deeper in the deck. Finds another flying troop, and that's not lethal right now. That is life drain. That'd be up to 5. Put Goliathus at 5 and put us at 8. And that is the swing. That's going to also give Fate Weave off Orchi Caro. Alright, sacrifice another troop. All of your Voracious Zombies and Relentless Zombies in all zones get +2/+1. So next turn, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the air. A constant would probably push it to lethal. So I really think I gotta go super hard here. 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. I gotta go all in. We're going to go all in and see where the chips fall, because these can get played afterwards to at least block an Orchi Caro. But I think it's I feel like I'm dead next turn if I don't kill Goliathus right now. So we're gonna go for it. And we're going to see what happens. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. Okay, that was enough. I wasn't mathing. I just knew I had to swing. With the life drain there, I thought maybe it wasn't. GG's Goliathus. Yeah, miscalculation. Yeah, I didn't know if that was actually going to be enough or not. I knew you had to like severely block anything, because otherwise it was going to be a big beating. We're going to update the prize count, failed attempt counter to 4, and we're going to add another 2,000 gold into the prize pool. So there's now 6k gold in there, a Dead of War booster, and 3 rares. GG's. And it's 10:01, so that was also kind of perfectly timed for me, at least, as that's my normal sign-off time. So I want to thank you all for hanging out with me and having fun. As always, we do Dungeon Masters of Entrath every Wednesday. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me and engaging in some really random, fun PvP with a PvE flavor to it. Have a good night, and I will catch you again same time next week.